Hey everyone, so I'm back. It looks like we have some updates for the website. It's going to be any day now. I'm pretty good at making websites, and I got a couple of people going to chip in a few dollars to help with the cost of the. I like to use this Zen 4.0 software, which is like $160 for the license. And so, I mean, I was going to pay it all, but I went ahead and asked, hey, would a couple people help me out? And I got a little help coming. So we have a Tinnitus website coming. I've got to go buy a domain name and then buy the script and then put the script on the website and then set up the forum and then tell people about the URL. We'll probably need like a logo, but we can start real basic and simple and make it better as we go. But let me make a video about tinnitus too. I have to sometimes just take stock of how fortunate I am. I can still remember how when I was just in the depth of despair, where I was just totally hopeless. I thought my life is just pretty well never going to be the same again, and now I feel like it's better. Thanks, tinnitus. Of course, I wish I did not have tinnitus, but I'm doing pretty good. And I think about, like, I've got sounds in my background now, and that's pretty well normal. But I also can think of like times during the day, like just last night I was taking a bath, and I didn't turn on the fan in the bathroom, and I was just sitting there looking at my phone, and I look at my phone while I'm in the bath too, and I was just soaking in a nice hot tub, and then I realized about 15 minutes later, oh, the tinnitus. I can hear it. So it's like the sound's there all the time, and it's arguably, I don't know how to measure it, just as bad as it was when it was driving me absolutely, into hopelessness. It's the same sound, but I don't really think about it anymore. And isn't that so peculiar that you could go from such extremes of feeling completely hopeless and your life is, never going to be the same, to like you just forget about it and it doesn't matter. The sound is there. I mean, I do often like to turn off this air purifier, and there's actually a lot of parts of the day now where I don't have the sound, and I don't really think about the sound. I mean, I should not say that I don't have the sound, but there's parts of the day where I don't have the background sound, and then I just don't really think about the tinnitus. It's there, but it's kind of like it's not there because I'm not thinking about it. And isn't that so peculiar that you could go from such an extreme of, like that? And I remember this one girl, maybe one of these days I'll track down her video again, where she just said, if it were to go away today, it really wouldn't change my life that much. And I can totally make that statement now. If the tinnitus were to go away today, it really wouldn't change anything about my life. I'm pretty happy now, and I'm so thankful that this great change took place, and I'm so thankful that I want to try my best to help other people feel some sense of, hey, maybe there's a chance the same thing will happen to me. And some people have told me their stories here where they really did. They went from the depths of despair to doing pretty good. I get different stories. Like some people say, well, I'm a lot better than I was before, but I still have some setbacks, or I'm a lot better than I was before, but it's sometimes I'll get a new sound going on, and then that kind of sets me back, things like that. But I also hear from people who say, you know what, I'm just fine now. I don't really, it doesn't bother me anymore. I've really come a long way, and things like that. And in a way, I have to say this whole tinnitus experience has been such a great learning tool for me. I mean, I never would have thought about it like that. Hey, thanks, I got a learning tool now. But it's like, it helped me to realize what anxiety is and how not to have it. I mean, anxiety is a thought where you just keep thinking about the same thing over and over again, and you're in sort of a pattern. And then it helped me realize how to somewhat cure anxiety, and that is learning to be able to move your thoughts in a direction into something like reading. Isn't this interesting? Vietnamese stories, into something like reading, and then you get so involved in that thing that you actually forget to think about the tinnitus, and then you get better at that skill of, there's this one here. I've got it right here, so I'll show it. You get better at that skill of drawing. When I drew this, I was hopeless. I felt hopeless, and I was just like, I've got to do something to get my mind thinking about something else. And, I drew a girl. Drew a girl. And, I liked my cartoon characters. But if you can imagine me being so, just full of anxiety all day long, not being able to sleep, often staying up all night and laying there in bed in torture, and just sometimes crying out in the night, just because I was so frustrated that I just was totally losing it, And then I just decided I'm going to draw. And I'm going to get some pens and pencils, and I'm going to draw. I've got to do something besides think. That's a pretty funny one. I've got to do something besides sitting there and think about the sound all the time, I've got to draw. So I started copying things that I saw. Most of these drawings you see here are not my originals, but rather just things that I copied. That's Chinese there. It says, Ni gan ma. What are you doing? Ni gan ma. What are you doing in Chinese? And, can you see how even as I'm showing you these, it kind of put me into a different state of mind? And you can maybe imagine I'm this guy that's really anxious and I'm losing my mind, but I'm like, I'm going to draw. I'm going to, damn it. I'm going to draw something. I'm going to do anything besides sit here and think about tinnitus all night long, and be awake. And sometimes, because I had such a difficult time, I think I made this one myself somewhat. I had such a difficult time, being able to go to sleep. The first few days, I went 5 days with no sleep. And I'm not kidding. I did not fall asleep at all for 5 days, or maybe on the 5th day or something like that, So, and then I just went months of being lucky to get, especially the first few months, I was lucky to get an hour or 2 hours of sleep. And it's like, I would draw, and then sometimes I could fall asleep. I don't know why, but I think what happened was I was able to get my thoughts on something else, and it somewhat settled the chemistry in my brain, because I was thinking so much about the drawing that this is definitely an original. This one's not very good. I was thinking so much about the drawing that I forgot about the tinnitus, at least for a short time. And I had some other things that were causing me anxiety too, related to me having COVID. And, it was just something where, this is just an idea I'm trying to share with you. I'm trying to get you to imagine, it's a Chinese little monkey guy. I'm trying to get you to imagine how bad I was and how I couldn't sleep and how I had anxiety every day. And this is one of the tools that I used. I'm just like, damn it, I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw, and I'm going to try not to, this because when I say, don't think about tinnitus, it didn't work. The sound's still there. And I would try to meditate in silence. And I'm like, oh my God, meditating in silence is like the worst thing I could do right now. Well, I wrote some Chinese. And this one kind of got damaged, but this was a kind of pretty cool one that I did. Yeah. I would just sit there and, meditate, and the meditation wasn't working. And I had been put on, I went to the, emergency room and different doctor's visits, and I've been put on different medications, and I still was having trouble sleeping. And there was this one drug, they're like, well, we shouldn't give you this one because it's not good for you. And I'm like, this is the one drug that makes me fall asleep for at least an hour or two, and prevents me from having the feeling that I'm going to have a heart attack or something. So please give me this drug. I mean, it was that bad, you know. And I like this little fat bird. You see? And I'm thinking, you see, I'm thinking about the fat bird, you know, like it's kind of a funny fat bird, but I'm not thinking about tinnitus, like anything besides that, you know. And it's like, so this is just kind of I'm just kind of shining a little light into the world that I had. This is maybe not even half of the drawings that I've shown you. And I did one every night, sometimes a couple. And then if I was lucky, I would fall asleep, and it wouldn't be for very long, but I would at least get a couple of hours of sleep. And, you know, slowly I took some other medication, and then I got better from that. And then it was a very slow progression. And then now I'm a pretty happy guy, you know? And so, like, that's what I was trying. I said that I made that video about setbacks before, you know? We all have some, tinnitus can really deal you a really big setback, but you gotta find some ways to get your neural network onto something else. And for me, like, I did the drawing, but, you know, it wasn't just that. I did the Chinese, and, you know, and now here I am, and I'm making these videos, and, you know, I'm doing okay. So I'll try to have some information about the website pretty soon. And yeah, until then, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.